It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, where we focus all things weather, and we get hungry from time to time, sponsored by Marco's Pizza, who's giving away free pizza this week, in addition to some other special deals you don't want to miss. I'll get to that in a moment, but I also want to pass along to you a personal note, a personal excitement celebration, as it were. I'm going to share that at the end. So if you have an interest in yours truly, I would love to share a little bit about me. Maybe you know a lot about me because you've watched these live streams, but I got some special details for you that not many people know outside of maybe my circle of influence. So anyway, let's get to the weather. I want to mention to you the colder days. I say colder. Let's call it cooler days. It was cold this morning, David. It was 46 in Norfolk. I know. But even cooler afternoons are ahead. Find out the latest timing. Plus, we want to look at Tropical Storm Melissa during this live stream. But this is the situation tonight. We got a cold front coming, and it's going to produce a few showers, although I think this is probably overstated at 9 o'clock, and I'll show you why in just a moment. It's moving into some very dry air. The dew points are in the basement. The dew points are in the cellar. But when you look at this energy, it's over the Great Lakes. That's where most of it's going to stay tomorrow morning. So we're going to have enough sunshine in Hampton Roads and Northeast North Carolina where it's cool, but maybe not as cool as it was this morning. I expect we'll be in the low to mid 50s by morning, and then as we move into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, the front moves even further out to sea, and most of the rain is well up into northern parts of West Virginia and Pennsylvania, and it stays away from there. But we will have opportunities for this high pressure dome to drop down from the Midwest, give us some more sunshine for the balance of the week, which is really your forecast in a nutshell, because I like to give it to you real quick and simple. By the way, you look outside right now in Kill Devil Hills, we maybe have some increasing clouds. Starting to see some clouds on the horizon in Virginia Beach. This is Chesapeake Bay here, but you can see Williamsburg, maybe a little fog on the lens, but we do have some high clouds in the Norfolk area. If you're on the call, would love to say hi to you. I got some other notes. Want to say hi to Tony. This is from yesterday. I believe this is a 23-old comment. Can I put it on the screen? I'll go ahead and do that. He says, "It's over, bud. Move on to winter." Okay, well, if you like cold air, I'm going to share with you some frost dates. How about that? And we'll touch on a little bit of winter, hopefully, before the end of the stream. But come back to me because I want to put in some comments that might be fresh and new, because that was from yesterday. But did I mention we're giving away free pizza? There are now 6 locations that are participating in the contest. This is also important if you want to redeem part of the deal of the week. These are the 6 locations that will participate in the deal of the week. So if you go to our webpage, which is WTKR.com, and add on the /Marcos, it only takes you 1 or 2 minutes to provide us your name and then your permission and email address so we can send you this certificate in the mail. Any one of the locations now, 2 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk, and 3 in Virginia Beach. Now, when I talk about certificate, I'm talking about pizza for a year. You mean you're giving away free pizza for yes, we're going to do 1 large, 1 topping. This Thursday, it's going to be handed out monthly for a year for free. So you don't have to pay anything in the month of October. You'll get another one, if you win, in November and December. And this will carry you right through September of 2026. That's pretty sweet. Now, if you've never been to Marco's, may I suggest to you, there are many options on the table. There's the Pozzoli, which I love for lunch. A Magnifico, the old cup style pepperoni is really good, but there are other things you might like. Satisfy your appetite. You could maybe get a Pozzoli, a pizza bowl, maybe a sub, cheesy bread, wings. They got wings. They even have gluten-free cauliflower crust, so it's gluten-friendly, and they have salads, Greek salads, and desserts like Cinna Squares. All of it is actually on sale. How about 50% off? No coupon to clip. No coupon to clip. All you need to know in the promo code is use this code, WTKR, all car letters, and 50. It's that simple. And it'll instantaneously take half off your bill. You're getting more than just half the pizza. Somebody joked with me, I'm going to get half the pizza, I'll get this half. No, you get the whole pizza for half the price. Pretty sweet, and that runs through Saturday because it is the deal of the week. So I'm going to keep moving because I got to get back to the weather, and I also want to check in with you. By the way, as we get more into the nuts and bolts, I am expecting some rain, so let me give you some utility here, some basic weather intel. Clouds are increasing now. You don't have to look that far over toward Roanoke. They've had a couple of thunderstorms, and dare I say, some severe weather is now in place in parts of northern West Virginia. So this is northeast of Charleston. This is probably closer to Morgantown and in the surrounding vicinity. But we're over here, right? We only care what's going on here half the time. Weather is one of those selfish things. I don't care what's happening in Montana. Just show me what's going on in my town. I can do that. I'll try and do my best. But this front is going to be reinforced with the cold air that's dropping down from the western side of the Great Lakes. So we've got some cool air. And dare I say, I'm going to make a bold prediction that today's high in Norfolk, which by the way got up to 75, and you said it was going to be 73. I know, it's off 2 degrees. This was going to be likely the warmest day we see for the next 7. I mean, you mean it's going to get cooler like tomorrow afternoon and then the next afternoon? Yeah, we're going to be on a downward spiral. Not terribly bad, but somebody, I think it was Kim Thompson-Jones, she said, give me a string of 60s. I'm just the messenger. We're going to give you some string of 60s. I'm just the messenger, but I do see that coming your way. Just checking in with the comments. I do want to load up the new ones because I do know that it is 7:45. It is a Tuesday night, and what are you doing? You're watching this live. I love it. I love to be able to get your feedback, your input. If you have something you would like to share, now's a great time to do something. I got a note from Taj Brown. I want to say hi to him. He's always got a smiling face, and I want to underline his note so we can all read it together. He says, I need to try something that they've added, the ghost pepper, to the menu. They added some, what was it? The Mike's the hot honey, Mike's hot honey pizza. They've also have that too. So whatever you can conjure up on their webpage, take 50% off. That's what's the benefit of watching this live stream, because I love weather. I also love pizza. But pizza, Marco's Pizza loves weather. It's a great relationship. So speaking of relationships, I'm going to talk more about mine coming up at the end of this live stream. If that isn't the tease, I don't know what is. But I got a big celebration tonight to share with you. Okay, so we got, meanwhile, the active weather, got a little orange polygon in, northern West Virginia. So that's the only severe storm that's coming down the pike at this particular moment. So let's go ahead, if we can, break down for us. The chance of rain tonight is really not that high. It's only 20% at 9 and 20% at midnight, and probably close to 0, maybe 10% to 0, by 2 a.m. Now, why would I put the expectations so low? The dew points are in the basement. I said that earlier. The dew points are in the cellar. They're very dry. They've been in the 30s and 40s today. So most of this energy is going to bring us some clouds, and whatever's left over might be a sprinkle for you, a little shower for you, a little drizzle drop for you. That's it. And then we're on to a dry pattern. So that's my expectation. And by the way, if my eyes don't deceive me, this is the scope. Some of you are like, oh, I didn't know where the scope is actually home to the Norfolk Admirals minor league hockey team. They have their home opener this Friday, 7:05. The puck drops. They're taking on the Railers of Worcestershire. So if you would like to say, hey, I want to play some hockey, I want to see some hockey, I want to see a good fight, I'm telling you, on the ice, it's pretty fun to watch. So I hope to go to my first game, hopefully in this month, if not, certainly November. Low end chance tonight. We got a spotty rain shower in the evening, so the rain chance is on the lower end of the spectrum. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, mostly sunny to end the week, and we've already mentioned that the highs will generally be in the 60s. That's it. And if you're keeping track, because I like to know, how windy is it? Is it a good hair day? I can tell you it was a bad hair day when I did my Newport News WTKR Neighborhood Spotlight. Some of you are like, what was that like? Well, we had a gust of 41. And on Sunday, I was out here at Newport News doing like 80 photographs, and I was canvassing the entire city, which is kind of like a county for anyone who's in Tennessee watching. The city of Newport News and Suffolk and Portsmouth, it's more than just one location. It's the entire area. And Suffolk, I believe, has like over 230 square miles. It was intense because it was so vast. But City of Newport News, I was very active going through the pictures. I'd love to have you check them out. And you can check them out on Facebook. I have those pictures still. So if you're from that area, if you're from Newport News, I do have some pictures that will kind of cycle through here. There's Suffolk, there's Poquoson, and I do know that Smithfield has a 23rd annual hog jog for charity. It's a 5K that's going on this weekend too. How about that just for recall? I can come up with some of the great events, but you have to get out. And if you enjoyed today, just note we had a 31-mile-an-hour gust in Norfolk. You might have had a similar gust. It wasn't as bad on Saturday. Saturday was actually pretty good relative to the last 5 days or so. It is 7:48. We had a peak gust. As I've already highlighted for Norfolk, we'll go ahead and illustrate that in there. It's 31. It was 23 in Virginia Beach, 24 Manteo, 25 in Hatteras, just to give you a sample. And really don't have much winds now. The winds have actually dropped off. which is ironic because we've got an approaching front, which normally would kick up the winds. Our wind gusts right now, Rodanthes 20 and 23 in Hatteras. So if we're looking at wind gusts tomorrow, I think they're 25 to 30. It's going to be a west wind generally once the day starts. Notice the dial here says west. So you're looking at winds that might approach 25 to 30 in some locations, not everywhere. This represents 11 a.m. It's pretty close to 30 along the eastern shore. It's 27, and this is all model data, but it gives us a good sense, some guidance. Even as we head into 5 o'clock Wednesday, they might slow down again, and so it goes. On Thursday, we'll have more sunshine. Winds are dropping less than 10 for a while. I like gusts closer to 15 to 20 by Thursday afternoon. Here's the big picture. We're going to zoom in because we know if you're in the military, you might have family everywhere and anywhere, but I will say this, if you have family on the West Coast, it's quiet. A couple of showers maybe in Southern California and Arizona here, but it's really quiet across much of the country, but it's really the Great Lakes where all the active weather is trying to drive down. So we'll zoom in a little bit tighter here. I want to find out where in West Virginia, because at one time, let's face it, if you do your history, West Virginia used to be part of Virginia. We have just south of Morgantown, northwest of Elkins, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It's around Clarksburg. I've been through Clarksburg once or twice before, and that says a tornado threat is possible from this cell. So a tornado is possible if you have family in the Barber, Harrison, Lewis. Oh, they've added a whole new one, and they're also pushing the tornado tag. So it's Barber, Harrison, Lewis, and Upshur until 8:30. Some large hail the size of a George Washington quarter or larger. I'll zoom back out so you can see some of the reflectivity. But this storm, you can see, is going to be in effect for the next a little more than a half hour. So it goes. But these are the two areas now. They're tracking this one very large cell in purple that's working its way across parts of West Virginia. As I come back home, let's go back to areas in other parts of the Commonwealth. Roanoke's had some thunderstorms. That energy appears to be working through Hagerstown. Washington, Baltimore will get some rain tonight, but we still haven't even fully clouded up. If my eyes don't deceive me, those dry dew, I see dry slots here. I see some dry areas around Hatteras. I mean, we're getting some clouds, but what's left here is very paltry. There isn't a whole lot of rain, all things considered. Got some other notes. Who do I have on here? I want to say hi to Taj, hi to Kim. Kim's on here. Kim wants to say hello, everyone. Kim, I hope you'll stick around. I got a little big announcement to announce about a personal note at the end of the stream. I put some thought into it because it's kind of neat. It's not something I thought when I was a little kid that I'd be able to say on this particular date I'd be at this point, but I'm proud and very excited to share the news. And I'm certain that somebody in my family will too. So hang with me. We've got to cover the news and the weather. Focus on the fact that rain is approaching at this time. Let's talk about the tropics. It's now 7:52. We have a new storm as of 11 o'clock this morning, and it's down here. It's affecting areas around maybe Haiti, possibly Jamaica in the coming days. In fact, those are the two areas I would put Haiti and Jamaica really in the crosshairs. This tropical storm, Melissa, actually got its name at 11 o'clock this morning. It's not quite even close to being a hurricane, but it's got winds of 50. It's expected to become a hurricane and wind gusts of 65. So if you remember the note I got earlier today, said, hey, bud, it's time to move on to winter. Well, we can't say we're totally done with hurricane season because this was an update at 8 o'clock tonight, which was just a few moments ago. So the new cone, which I'm going to show you here, looks like this. It looks like, what? What is that? That looks like a big ball. Oh, I think the Hurricane Center's goofed. I think they've made a mistake. They don't have a track, Aldrich. They just have this little circle. So, I mean, can they not pick one? Wait, I mean, do they have no confidence in Miami anymore that they can't track a storm? Don't assume that. Because I like to think of this as the stalled ball. Because anytime you see a ball like this, it's stalling. So let's say if I play this game with you, let's take a trip. You're going to go down the road 60 miles an hour. I assume that you'll be there in an hour going 60 miles an hour. But not if you stop at Wawa, not if you stop at get a restroom, keep stopping. Or somebody says, I pull over. I don't know when you're going to get there. See what I mean? If your rate of change isn't consistent, and there's no consistency here. So for days, this storm, Melissa, is going to sit here and rain a conservative amount of 5 to 10 inches in Jamaica, in Haiti, for mudslides and significant flash flooding. This is going to be a flash flooding nightmare for places like Jamaica and Haiti if it stays on this track, which is basically nowhere. I'm going to take this full screen because some of you are like, I mean, are those lines in there? Yeah. So like Wednesday, Thursday, it's still staying put. It's not moving much. Because of the forward track uncertainty, confidence in the rainfall amounts are low. And so if it sits here, I would ask you, somebody who may not be in the weather community, pick one. Well, which line is it, Aldrich? I would say we don't know yet. Oh, you're jobbing weather, so could it be this one? Could it be that one? Could it be this one? Which one is it going to be? And until the models get some forward momentum, figuring out which way is it going, will we have a better sense. But there is a consensus that eventually it'll kick out here. But I think the damage is going to be really done over this area. Now, Aruba might be included in the southern tip, Aruba, and maybe especially Jamaica, and maybe even the Dominican Republic and Haiti. So Hispaniola and Jamaica probably going to be hit the hardest. We can include Grand Cayman in there too, depending on track, right? It's all going to be dependent on track. If you've got a question, let me know. I got a note from Daniel Travis. He didn't think I'd pull him out here, but he says, really? Really? I don't know what really means. Like, he's really excited. Maybe he's really excited that he's going to get maybe 50% off his pizza if he uses the WTKR code. Or maybe he's just like really excited about the fact that we've got 60s for a string after tomorrow. I got 71 for tomorrow, but after that, it's like 67, 65, 64, 63. It's like you're doing reps, but going down the wrong way. That's how hot or not hot it's going to be for the rest of the week. But I got to get on to other models and other things. I want to show you where things take Melissa. As I've shown you all the spaghetti plots, they're all over the map. But if you can see here, there's a circulation center. This will take us to Halloween. But you can see it is staying put for what would take us into early next week, potentially. It's still there. It's still raining itself out. It hasn't moved. That's Jamaica there. So this heavy rain maker from the European model will eventually kick it out, but it's going to cause a lot of issues for family that might be traveling there or have plans to be there over the next 7 to 10 days. Eventually it goes out to sea. That's, again, one algorithm, one set of equations of motion, the Euro, which a lot of folks will look at. But the American model, the GFS, has a similar track, although it's a little further to the east. It takes it over Hispaniola, perhaps from Puerto Rico, and it too eventually wants to kick it back out to sea. A lot of it's going to be predicated on the fronts that come down from the northwest. Well, how quickly will it begin to move it and get some momentum to carry it out? Eventually that happens long before Halloween on this particular model. So our 2025 hurricane season names now include Melissa. That puts Nestor on the on-deck circle with Olga, Pablo, and Rebecca. And we have until November 30th. Not to say we'll get to all those names, but it's interesting to see Melissa forming here late in October, the 21st. This is about the time Hurricane Wilma was on its move. About the 29th of October, we had Hurricane Sandy, or is it Superstorm Sandy? We had a lot of activity in late October. We've had some as late as November. I believe it was Hurricane Kate in 1985. You can Google it. I believe it was it was like a practically almost Thanksgiving hurricane. But we have not had one in the continental U.S. this year. That's hard to believe. That's what baffles a lot of the experts. They go, oh, I knew we'd have a lot of. We've had some big storms, right? Umberto was Cat 5. We had a Cat 4 in Gabrielle and Aaron. But nothing hit the United States as a hurricane. Pretty unusual. And how does that correlate to winter? We might be exploring that on this program, on this live stream. I'll do that for you. But hang with me. We'll do that maybe on another day. 7:58, current temperature. Actually, this was the low. This was the low this morning. Our friends in Suffolk fell to 39. You could see your breath in Suffolk today if you were up early. 46 in Norfolk occurred at 7:23 a.m. Again, 7:23 in the morning. It was 46 in Norfolk, and I would say roughly the same time for Hampton and Virginia Beach. That's a guesstimate. I'm working from the numbers from Norfolk International Airport. Now, the normal first frosts typically occur in November. Pick out your favorite place with it. Newport News, Suffolk, Elizabeth City, and Hampton typically between the 11th and 20th, but it usually comes in much later for Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Virginia Beach in terms of our first frost. So if allergies have been an issue, you probably are hoping we get a good frost because that will put the pollen allergy season to bed for at least this calendar year. Now, 75 was the high. That occurred at 3:41 this afternoon in Suffolk. 76 Hampton saw a high today in Chesapeake at 74 degrees. Just checking in some notes. I want to say hi to Taj and Kim and Daniel, anyone who might be watching. Glad to have you guys here as we're still looking at the rain chances after tonight, because we had that 20% chance between 8 and midnight, essentially, which now it is after 8, just about 8 o'clock. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, nothing. So if you're hoping for rain, it's going to stay dry. Yes, and I think the idea that we're going to have only a 10% chance of rain on Sunday is kind of generous. I don't think it's even that high, all things considered. Normal rainfall for this time of year is 3.86. The driest month of the year, I've said this before, is in February. February 2.90. That was the big snow we had February 19th. We had 10, 11 inches in Norfolk. Virginia Beach had some big snows when I first got here. I got here 2 days after the snowstorm. But October, 3.86. 3.86, and so far we've had, I believe, 1.03. Now tomorrow's day won't be as cold or chilly in the morning, but in part because of the clouds that are coming in. So I do have a sunny start. We won't be at 46. I think about 55 prior to 8 a.m. Mostly sunny, 68 now at noon, 71 at 4. So generally low 70s, but not quite 75. I think it'll be a little bit cooler. Starry sky sunsets tomorrow at 6:19, but it actually goes up at 7:19 come tomorrow morning. Now, it's been like the stock market, up and down, up and down, up and down. We had a very warm weekend in the 70s, then we had a cool day yesterday, and then we bounced back up 8 degrees today. But I can tell you this stretch will be actually, if we hit 71 here, okay, that's another above average day. Now the normal has 70, but you're gonna have a string of 60s going right into the weekend and beyond, really, heading down the road. Today's high is 75. We have that's 10 degrees shy of the record high was set back in 1993 and 1984, just for some comparison. Love seeing that. If you've got a comment, let me know. I'd love to be able to say hi to you. If you have a question, this is a great opportunity for me to highlight your thought and magnify your voice. By the way, you have a trace of rain last Thursday. We've had nothing in the meantime, and 1.03 is all we've had. So far, if you're keeping score, we're running about 5.5 inches below normal for the year. We've had 36.17 inches. That's all the rain and melted snow this calendar year, which is still about 8.65 drier than it was last year at this time. We had almost 45 inches comparably, and so far for October, it's pretty dry. Even by October standards, we're still pretty dry. Dew points are almost autumnal. They look like they're in winter when you've got 30s in Nashville, Louisville, Indianapolis, 47 in Virginia Beach, and Hatteras. That just gives you a sample of how cool it is. I got a note from Kim. She's on here. She wants to say hi. She said, I'll take those temps. Thank you. My pleasure. I'll tell you what, if you, I think you said yesterday or the day before, you said, I like strings of 60s. So why not? You're getting what you wished for. Maybe not tomorrow if we get in the low 70s, but it's actually going to turn nice and cool and a great time to get out to like a pumpkin palooza like they have one this weekend in Yorktown, and maybe the classic Virginia car show in Newport News. That's going on this weekend as well. So some people like to get out and enjoy this season, and I know there's quite a few corn mazes. I found one in Chesapeake. I know there's one at the farm that I visited in Virginia Beach on Princess Anne Road, the Cullifer area. They've got a corn maze too. So you've got so many opportunities to get out and enjoy the beautiful weather. And this dryness, yeah, I think certainly when you look at the dew points, they're a little higher in those areas in green. So Birmingham, Atlanta, even Knoxville right now has a dew point of 56. So it's a lot more sticky relative to Nashville because the front's already past you. Nashville's at 35. Virginia Beach, Hatteras are in the 40s and 50s in terms of the stickiness. And there really is no stickiness if you're below 55. It's on a whole nother par, a whole nother course. I mean, we've got dew points expecting now to be in the upper 30s, low 40s the next 3 days. So grab the chapstick, as it were, as I've heard Tony Nargis say before. You might need it because it's going to be cold and it's going to cool rapidly under clear skies. Temperature right now, 8:03, 64 Chesapeake, 66 Virginia Beach, and 64 in Suffolk. If we expand the view, we've got 63 in Franklin right now, 65 in Currituck, Elizabeth City, and our friends in Edenton have 68 degrees at the moment. Curious to know if you've got a note. I see somebody who's got another follow-up. I love this. I love being able to chit-chat. Now, he might be talking to Kim. And if that's the case, I'll just kind of peruse and maybe reread it here. It says, Kim Thompson Jones, cozy socks. That's a good idea. Warm throw blanket. hot apple cider. I've been drinking cold apple cider. Or tea, he says, by the fireplace. I mean, you've set and a good movie or show. Are you thinking rom-com or something like that? I don't know, Taj. You sound like a romantic at heart here. I do love what you're saying. I like what you're saying. I think it has a lot of promise. And with the good weather that we've got ahead of us, you've got opportunity. How about that? You've got good chances to get out and enjoy this weather. Let's go ahead and show you, though, our current readings regionally. It's 70 in Hatteras, 66 in Virginia Beach. Well, it's 70 in Charlotte, but they've cooled back to 59 in Knoxville at this particular moment, in Knox Vegas, as it's sometimes referred in the local area. Temperature outlook, 29th through the 4th of November. This includes Halloween. Now, what might be spooky would be for Florida, right? The Sunshine State. If you're below normal in Florida, that means you might have to pull out a jacket in the morning, and that's spooky because this does take us into the first 4 days of the month. This comes from the Climate Prediction Center. They want to put us near normal for much of the mid-Atlantic into the Appalachian Mountains all the way down toward Texas and into the Midwest. So we'll keep an eye on that. The future temperatures kind of ooze down more cold air from the Great Lakes. We saw that from a moment ago with some cooler and drier air there, but there's another surge coming down in blue perhaps by the 29th. So this is all going to be just setting the stage for cooler weather, I'm sure, even as we head into the month of November. This is the last day, represented in colors, mind you, of Halloween, where there's a lot of blue up here in Canada, which is cold enough to snow. If it's blue, it's cold enough to snow. And I don't think we're quite there yet here, clearly, but it is showing signs of the temperature change. And speaking of temperature, if we hit the low 70s tomorrow, okay, but look at this, it's do-do-do-do. It's actually trending down when the normal high is 70. So we've got one more day above normal before we're likely to settle back in the 60s. By the way, it's 8:06. Just checking in with you in the mid-60s. Saxes, Bloxham, Nancock, Chincoteague 65, Exmoor, Cape Charles, a high of pair of 66s. About 70 for Nags Head tomorrow. Lots of sunshine for Kill Devil Hills and Duck at 68. Manio at 70. And Rodanthe and Hatteras both at 71. Ocracoke about 72. For your Wednesday. Storm Prediction Center probably not showing much in the way of colors. Isolated and scattered would be usually the two colors in play. Looks like we do have a new area. That was not there this morning. Interesting, or this afternoon, I should say. That's a new ad. But they put the severe weather threat, even though it's not in West Virginia. I'm pretty sure we had a severe thunderstorm popping up over here near Clarksburg. But they've decided to put the outlook around Detroit and maybe over toward Cleveland. So there you have it. That's kind of an interesting add-on, but it doesn't include what's happening. It includes Akron, Ohio, includes Toledo and Mansfield for potentially some isolated severe storms may occur between now and daybreak tomorrow in northern Ohio. You come back home, clearly we have some rain in the forecast, but we're not expecting anything to reach that kind of severity. Now, severe threat Wednesday looks like nothing to see here. No coloring in the lower 48. And as we slide into Thursday, there is an area that covers parts of Texas and New Mexico. This would be from Oklahoma City, Amarillo, and back toward perhaps Santa Fe, New Mexico. Really quiet across the Northeast. So our futurecast, I want to highlight the futurecast for raindrops. I just want to kind of walk through this. We've got drop here, drop there. Here's 11. I see one drop in Chesapeake and maybe a drop over here. I thought there was to be one around Moyock, maybe around midnight. Do I have that right? Let me see here. Oh, it just passed by. And at 3 a.m. it's gone and we have clouds already breaking. So like I said, 20% chance that you get a shower, but a better chance you'll get some clouds overhead temporarily because they do a disappearing act in time for the sunrise tomorrow, which occurs precisely at 7:19 a.m. So if you're out the door at 7:19 a.m., you're going to want the sunglasses. You will not even have seen much in the way of cloud cover once the sun is up tomorrow, and the rest of the afternoon looks pretty good. It looks nice and sunny, clear tomorrow night. Thursday looks good, and really nothing to see here, even at 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon. And this, I think, is probably a bit noisy. I think the model's putting out some rain showers in Virginia Beach Thursday night. I just don't buy it, because what's going to happen on Thursday, as I showed you this animation at the top of the live stream, once this goes into effect, once we get this off the coast, the front, suddenly you're going to see the dry air move back in here, and most of the rain is going to be northern parts of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and stays clear. So this is 9 p.m. Wednesday. that model, the graph model, puts some rain in here. Let's stop the clock. It's bringing it down here when we're actually going to be pretty dry. Most of it will actually probably even north of Delaware and New Jersey once we move into Thursday night, because it doesn't look like we're going to see much opportunity for rain by that time frame. I think this high will be driving down and giving us the weather that I anticipate, which is virtually clear weather. So Wednesday morning, we're going to be in the 50s. Last night it was the 40s. Take your pick. Maybe you like 40s better. And if you did catch a shooting star, I do know that Kurt Williams, he actually captured, or he made a note. He had to take out his dog this morning, but he did say he saw a shooting star. He's our main anchor. He's been here for 38 years at WTKR. He said he caught one of the Orionid meteor showers this morning, and he said it was really cool. And I joked with him. I said, Kurt, I know many people would prefer to just scroll through Instagram than look outside and see a shooting star. He said, no, it's the natural thing. You got to get off the screens. That's what, we were having that private conversation, but it's really true. I think a lot of folks maybe get more excited about what's on their phone than what's going on in the heavens when you get these shooting stars. I think it's kind of cool. I just wasn't tempered to stay out late at night when I work late at night and I wanted to get some sleep. I've seen them before. They are pretty sweet. Whether it be the Orionids or maybe the other meteor star, the Perseids. I'm thinking in August. We usually see that periodically too each year. So tonight's lows are going to be in the 50s. 58 in Hampton, 54 at Hosky. It's now 8:10. I'm going to wrap things up and share a little bit of a personal note. 55 for a low in Norfolk, 61 Corolla and Nags Head, and 56 in Newport News. Those are my expected lows tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be a lovely day to be in Newport News. I will be out there because we have a big event I'll share with you momentarily. 69 Peninsulas. It's a great chance for you to say hi to me because I will be in Newport News. We're doing a Let's Talk event with Jessica Larche, news anchor, and of course, neighborhood news reporter Kelsey Jones. She'll be there as well. More on that in a moment. 70 in Franklin, 73 Elizabeth City, 68 in Gloucester. Highs tomorrow about 70 in Smithfield. This is where they have that hog jog, that 5K this weekend. So if you're looking for a good cause and maybe, I believe it's the 23rd annual, they've got that going on. Plus Franklin's got their fall craft show going on as well. 68 Corolla, 70 for a high in Nags Head. So here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 71 tomorrow. Notice the lows. They're chilly. I mean, the 55 is partly because of the clouds that are overhead tonight. So it should slow the cooling process in terms of Norfolk, but some of us are going to be cooler as we just highlighted. And if you're looking for the chilliest afternoon, it may be Sunday. We'll be watching Lessa, but by Monday, we could have a chance for a few more showers, and we'll see if that doesn't increase Monday night, but that's still pretty far out. That's day 6 and day 7. Now, I do want to share with you a few of these cool happy shots. We had a few of these come in. This is from James City County sunrise. Brian Smith believes this is one of the oldest dairies in the country. This is M.O. Smith and Sons Dairy captured this beautiful sunrise this morning. Brian, thank you for sharing that with us. Also, we have King Neptune from Mr. Wynn. Non-Win shared this with us from a sunrise. I believe it was this morning. Captured this. Love it being able to see in Virginia Beach. And we had a sunset. Believe it was last night's sunset from William Wood. Thank you, William, for sharing that information with us as well. So I just want to share with you, we are going to be, I say we, a good part of our TV station crew will be at Tradition Brewing Company. This is in Newport News. This is where we're having our Let's Talk. What is a Let's Talk event? Let me show you. This is Jessica. If you're not watching our TV programs, she's our news anchor with Kurt and me, and Kelsey is our neighborhood reporter. But we like to get out in the community. We'll be there from 4 to 6:30. I'll be doing the weather live at the Tradition Brewing Company. But it is at the city centers at Oyster Point. Beautiful area. But come on out and say hi. We'll be there. I will not be drinking beer. I will be drinking H2O water, as will my co-anchor. So we'll be very, very alert when the questions start coming out. We'd love for you. Now, you could drink some beer. That's probably why they want to have it there. But come on out and say hi. If at the very least, we'll be able to chance to talk to you for 2.5 hours. We're going to be out there, and that all comes in tomorrow. So just want to remind you of that. And again, here's the first warning 7-day forecast. If you missed it, 71, 67, 65, 64. Just a reminder, the big deal of the week, if you're just joining us, is the 50% off. I mean, that's better than a coupon. You certainly don't have to clip it. But the call letters are WTKR 50. Our friends at Marco's loves weather. We love Marco's Pizza, so you have a chance to get half off your pizza just using that promo code. And on Thursday, which is 2 days from now, we're going to announce the winner of the pizza certificate. This is the pizza for a year. Go to WTKR.com/Marcos and you will win, possibly win this certificate, as we've given away hundreds of pizzas since late May when all of this began. But I'm very thankful to have you watching and very glad to have you on board. Now, if you're on the call, I want to come back and reset for a second. I want to say hi to you. I want to share a quick story and then I'll sign off. It's 8:14. I've gone on long, but I did want to share with you a personal story. Today is a special day for me and for my wife. And I'll just put this on here. 25 years ago, she and I got married. Now, we had a marriage in our WTKR family recently. It's pretty well known. It's on Instagram. Our meteorologist, Miles Henderson, got married recently. He's our morning meteorologist, senior meteorologist. Miles got married, and I asked him today, I said, did you have bubbles? I said we had a kind of a platinum theme in 2000, and he kind of laughed and said, no bubbles. But I just wanted to say thank you to my wife, Stephanie, for being able to put up with me. We love doing things outdoors. That's kind of like our love language. We like to be out and about, whether it be Cape Charles, here another picture of here, whether it's Chicks Beach, we like to get out and about. We like Jockey's Ridge. There's not a place that we won't explore. This more looks like Tatooine in Star Wars, but I love Jockey's Ridge. My wife and I, 25 years, she was a news anchor. Some of you know this story, but my beautiful wife, Stephanie, has stuck by me through thick and thin. Never is a relationship easy. I'm usually the one at fault, and I do want to thank her for all of the facts that she stuck by me. I goofed up right from the get-go. I mean, this was a cake with some Hawaiian orchids, and I must have either got the cake all messed up, so we had from the get-go a rough start. We were to go to Bermuda. This is a quick story, and she's probably going to laugh. Aruba, excuse me. I was set to set up the travel plans. You know, when back in the day you'd have a travel agent book the honeymoon. We had all the wedding stuff worked out, but I was to book the honeymoon. Now, I've shared my wedding proposal story, but I don't think I've shared this story. My wedding was immediately we were going to do the honeymoon the next day. We went to Charleston the honeymoon night, but we were getting on a airline that I didn't know went bankrupt the day we were supposed to fly out. It was Air Aruba. Now, this was October 21st, 2000, and the day I got to Miami, I said, I'd like to get on the plane. They said, I'm sorry, Mr. Aldrich. The Air Aruba is bankrupt, and so there'll be no flights to Aruba. And I said, let me talk to you. Can I talk to a manager? Is there somebody? So this is kind of who I was at the time. I just said, can I just ask a question? Now, I married this beautiful lady behind me. I married her for better or for worse. I wish that you would get me to Aruba for better or for worse. Well, we finally got there. It took a while. But we took a while to get there. And since that time, we've had a great adventure. This is Snowshoe, West Virginia. This is us with our kids when they were smaller out in Snowshoe, West Virginia. And this was us a couple years ago, even maybe a year ago, in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So I'm very blessed to have not only a beautiful wife, but two wonderful, beautiful daughters, and very, very blessed. And that's why I only share this story with you, not to take you down memory lane or show you a camera roll, but just to remind you, some days are hard, some days are great. Every day is a gift. And so when I say these things, it comes from the spirit that I had a time when I remember losing a grandfather. And I'm like, boy, I wish I could spend another day fishing with him. Or when you start losing people in your family, you know what I'm talking about. You kick yourself. You say, I wish I'd had even just another chance to have that person on the phone. Sometimes you get choked up. It happens. And it happens to all of us. So that's why I say, yes, there are days where the weather is lousy. Maybe it's crummy, but it's better than the alternative. So I will say this again. It doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or serious. It doesn't matter. But happy anniversary, Stephanie. I do love you. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow night. Take care.